Hey guys, George at SoundTraxx here, and this week we're going to come to you with another workbench tip here from the workbench. Now today I've actually got a new camera mount for our workbench tip, so hopefully this will give you a little bit better angle than the one I've been using with the traditional tripod. This one actually mounts to the desktop and kind of holds the camera up and above, so hopefully this will be helpful for you guys and you can see it. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the new Rapido PAs and we're going to install a CurrentKeeper wire. We're going to show you where on the 21 pin to solder, how to do it, and we're going to actually walk through it and do the process ourselves here in front of you. So hopefully with the new camera mount, you'll be able to see things a lot better. Be sure to comment below. Let us know how the view was, if you liked it, if you didn't, if there's anything you want to see better, done better, anything like that, just let us know in the comments below, and we'll make the adjustments for the next workbench tip, whether we do an installation or something else. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and mount the camera, and we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll see you in just a second. Okay, so hopefully this camera angle is good for you guys. You should be able to see what we're working on. So what we're going to do is we've got this Rapido PA. We're going to go ahead and install a CurrentKeeper harness so that way we can install a CurrentKeeper on the model itself. Now, as you can see, the Blue Nami is already installed, so we're going to go ahead and want to pull that off. And what we're going to do is we're just going to gently pull it up evenly so as not to bend any of the pins on here. We're going to take our decoder, we're going to set it aside for now. Now the next thing, in order to be able to do this, if you buy a CurrentKeeper, it comes with a harness. If not, you can get one of our harnesses here. This is part number 810158. We've got a harness. And what you're typically going to do is we're going to be soldering to the pins here on the base of this 21 pin connector. Because on this circuit board, there's no provisions for a stay alive module, CurrentKeeper, anything like that. There's no plugs or anything like that to plug into. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and solder. Now to do this, in our documentation, we don't really call it out as explicitly, but you will want to look at the documentation. If you go to our installation guide, we'll talk a little bit about it here, but we're going to do it today. But with our CurrentKeeper harness, we've got two ends on this harness, and since we're only going to use one, what we want to do is we want to measure about where the CurrentKeeper is going to live, and the pins on here on this side is where we're going to solder to. So we need to decide where the CurrentKeeper is going to live. Now, based on this particular model, I'm going to suspect the CurrentKeeper is going to live back here. We can take these two tabs off of this speaker harness right here and lay the CurrentKeeper 810140, our long and skinny CurrentKeeper. We're going to lay it right there on top, right here over the back, because on the inside of the shell there's some protrusions down below, but hopefully nothing that won't allow us to fit. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and solder this. But the biggest point of this exercise today is just to show you how you can add a CurrentKeeper harness to your 21 pin decoder. Now, once we measure out about how long we want our harness to be, we're actually going to go ahead and take a cutter and we're going to cut this in half, and it's going to basically create two. Now I'm using the longer version for this particular installation, which, as I had in front of me a minute ago, oh, here it is. I had another one from another installation I did, but again, it was also short. So rather than doing two short ones, I just went ahead and cut the new one. Now I have two short ones for future use. And so now I have my CurrentKeeper harness here. So the question is going to be, where do we solder? And the answer is going to be the blue wire, which is our V+, is going to solder to pin number 16. So the numbers on these pins are numbered down on this side, starting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now the 11th pin is the one that's missing. So you will actually come over here, and then this is actually 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And so we're going to solder to the 16th pin, the blue wire. Now the black wire, which is our V-, is actually going to go to pin 20. So we'll count over 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then this is where we're going to solder the black wire to. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our wire strippers. We've got our soldering iron hot. We're going to go ahead and strip a little bit of the insulation off the back of these. Now a little insulation is going to be better because we're going to be soldering to the legs on this 21 pin right here. So again, our solder needs to be clean and we need to make sure we know what we're doing. So the next thing, I'm going to take my flux. This is Chip Quick. You can get this from DigiKey SMD 291. It comes in this great syringe, and I've had this for as you can see, I've been wearing off the lettering on the side here, but I've probably had this for 4 or 5 years, and you can see as many installations that I do for myself and some of my friends every now and then. I've still got plenty there, because you're going to see we're not going to use that much, so we're just going to touch that syringe a little bit and just put a little dab. And actually, I'm gonna grab some of this off the side here for the other one, and that's all you need. You don't really need a whole lot of flux on there. And then I have my soldering iron over here, so we're gonna go ahead and clean off the end of our iron, and we are going to just put a little bit of solder on the end of the iron, and then we're just going to touch where that is so that it pre-tins the ends of these wires. And the reason is we want to make sure that we've got a good connection. Now that blue wire shrunk back quite a bit actually, but don't panic because we can always cut it short. So we're going to go ahead and cut it. Now the tinning has made sure that these strands will stay together. We're going to do the same thing for the black wire. So you can see how little amount of exposed wire, because again, we want to make sure we're soldering to this circuit board. We're about to put our decoder on it, so we want to make sure that these connections are clean, tidy, and not going to interfere with anything else. So the next thing we're going to do is, now again, we're going to count out these pins here. So we're going to go 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's going to be this one right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to touch a little bit of flux on that foot. Now, like I said, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I've got a little bit more flux on the board, but that's okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our tweezers and we're going to take our connector. I'm going to try to do this. Hopefully you guys can see this clearly. Again, this is a new camera mount, so please let me know in the comments if this is good for you. We got a little bit of solder on the end here. So we're simply going to go to our pin 16 right here. Tweezers are going to hold the wire in place, and then we're simply going to let the flux do the work. There we go. So let's now double check. So we got pin 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then we also make sure, and we're not solder bridged to either of these other joints. And so that's a good, nice, clean solder connection. So let's put it up close so you can actually see. It's a nice, smooth, small solder joint. So now we're going to do the same thing on pin 20. So from 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, that's going to leave 2 on the end, so it should be fairly easy to fall back on. So the third pin from the end, we're going to put, again, a little bit of flux on here. We're going to take our tweezers, we're going to grab the black wire, and then we're going to hold it in place. Let's get our soldering iron, clean it off. And we've got some solder on the end here. So let's move this over a little bit here. Hopefully this will be a little easier for you guys to see. And we're just going to simply hold the wire onto the foot of pin number 20. And there we go. See, that one went a lot smoother. So there's our solder joint. And we can check the sides around, and it looks like everything's good. So you can kind of see here now how that solder joint is made, and these solder connections are in place. And that's pin 16 here and pin 20 for the black. So now what we can do is, because of where this is located, we're going to twist these wires down and around the 21 pin, We're going to reinstall our decoder. Our decoder plugs in place, and now we have our wire harness for our CurrentKeeper. So now we can plug the CurrentKeeper right there, or if we have to, we can move it up front. Again, we've got some flexibility here just because of how this is wired. But underneath, because we're soldered to the feet of the pins, we don't have to worry about touching the inside of this circuit board, because on the other side of this, you're going to see a bare space on the underside. So guys, I hope this has been helpful for you. This is a quick little workbench tip showing you how to solder the CurrentKeeper wires to a 21 pin decoder, so without a connector. Now, if you have other circuit boards out there like a Decoder Buddy or something like that, sometimes they'll have those provisions on the board. Just use those, that's fine. You don't need to do this, but you can do this if you prefer for consistency. And the other reason I like soldering to the circuit board itself is because if we have to remove this decoder, whether we decide to sell the model or say upgrade a Tsunami 2 21 pin to a Blue Nami 21 pin, you can simply pull this up and the CurrentKeeper stays with the model where you've already mounted it. So anyway, that's all I've got for you this time. So thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe down below so that you can be notified anytime we go with new videos, anything like that, tutorial tips like this. And again, comment below, let us know what you think of the new camera mount. Hopefully this is a better view, and hopefully you guys can see everything that's happening here in the video. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.